Got this question from our buddy Nick here, who's graduating high school this year, and he wants to go to a university in another city. The problem is his parents don't want him to leave their hometown, I assume, and will not support him in going to the university outside of their hometown. And apparently his parents are a bit, I use this term, it's my term, overbearing. They don't seem to allow him to go out. He's constantly being grounded if his grades aren't right, and he's got a pretty good GPA. He feels as if he left his parents' house and went to the university in a new city, he would become a stronger version of himself. He would be growing up in absence of the tyranny, again that's my word, of his oppressive parents. The problem is that he needs their support in order to apply to this school, to pay for the school, so on and so forth. So now he's torn. Okay, so here's the way I'm going to ask you to look at this, my buddy, my friend, my young friend, embarking upon the journey of life, feeling the call to action, but yet being unable to do it because of those who control you at this point. You're 17 years old, I assume. This is not going to be the answer you want to hear, and it's probably not going to be the most popular answer, but here it is. Allow your parents to control you just a little bit longer. You're 17 years old, and it doesn't mean that you don't really feel this call to action. And in fact, it may be a good opportunity for you to grow up and become a stronger version of yourself. But you're still at an age where you're going to need your parents' support, especially if you're going to go through university. You're going to need their financial support. You're going to need their moral support. And you don't want to, at this early on in your adult life, you don't want to break ties with your roots. There may come a time, ultimately, where you've got to kill the master, so to say. Put your parents aside and man up and be yourself. I'm not feeling like that needs to happen just yet. And here is some encouraging advice. It's a device also. It's a idea device, right? Very rarely do I edit these videos, so if I say stupid things sometimes, just realize like this guy doesn't edit his videos. It's just whatever comes out is what needs to be said. Anyway, what I would invite you to consider is that 4 years of university is a drop in the fucking bucket, dude. It is nothing. It seems like the whole world is going to crumble down on you if you don't take this leap into adventure right now. But taking 4 more years and allowing your character to incubate under the tutelage or the tyranny, however you want to look at it, of your parents is not the end of the world. In fact, I think it might be okay. I think it's better for the long-term relationship that you'll have with your parents. I think your parents, again, this is all, again, when I make these videos, they're not always based on fact. They're based on the information that I get from you guys and the feeling I get while reading it. And the feeling that I get is that your parents are good people. I don't think your parents are out to hurt you. I think they might be a bit overbearing, overprotective, but it doesn't mean that they're the type of people that want to see you hurt or to hurt you. Okay, that's just a feeling I get, and I'm sure you'd agree with me, right? If not, let me know. So you don't want to sever ties with them. You don't want to get on bad footing with them. You don't want to ruin that relationship with them. There's going to come a time when you're forced to assert yourself. Now, here's an interesting thing. Of course, I'm beginning to rant now with this video. An interesting thing is that we're all called to action at some particular point in our lives. Some of us, that call to action or the courage associated with taking action in our lives has been so suppressed through early childhood suppression that it comes out in whimpers. Some of us, it comes out very explosive and very rebellious about the age of 17 to 23. What you don't want to have happen if you do decide to ignore the call to action for the bigger picture, for the betterment of everyone, is to forget that call to action 4 years from now when the opportunity rises again and now you've got to go get a job, you've got to go out into the real world. The real world is another form of, and the real world including whoever you go work for, if you decide to work for someone, and the government is another form of parentage, patriarchy. right? And then what ends up happening is we submit to that authority once again and never go out in our call to action. We never build up the courage ever again to do something dangerous. So that's it, dude. I don't want to make this that much longer than it needs to be. I say, take your parents' advice. Do what you're told right now, not because you're a bitch or a bastard or weak or uncourageous or anything that it's negative. You do it for the greater good. And realize 4 years is a drop in the bucket, and in 4 years' time you might even be stronger in your ability to approach your call to action and make your stand as a man in the world.